What does it mean to you when you hear the word authority, and what do you make it mean about what other people perceive? Authority basically means that you are a go-to expert and someone who maybe has an edge through their experience and the results that they're creating, and they've got a track record. That is what most people interpret. Now, today, we got to explore why you need your authority to be amplified if you want to be winning more business. Hey, it's Melanie Benson here, and I am unpacking the steps in my 7-step plan to get you booked on hot stages and podcasts, to get ideal leads and get 5-figure clients coming to you. And this is my proven framework to help you stand out in a crowded market and attract and enroll more aligned prospects. And you'd probably hear me talk about authority all the time. And I'm genuinely curious what authority means to you, because different people have different emotional reactions to the word. And I talk about why it's valuable to amplify your authority. And there is a very valid reason for this. And I want you to get a pen and paper and take some notes, because I'm going to give you a couple tips today that can really transform the results you're getting. Now, when someone else witnesses you as an authority, they're gaining this clarity that they should really consider who you are and what you have to help them solve their biggest problems and help them achieve really valuable goals. And so, in a way, that authority positioning helps you gain an edge over others that may be considered for something. Now, let's do a check-in. You may or may not be seeing right now why authority is important as part of your marketing and branding and the strategies that you're putting into action. So let's look at some possible situations, okay? So one, if you are not getting asked to speak right now, or you're not getting a constant flood of podcast invitations where you're a guest on like an online show or a podcast, even though you're working really hard to pitch yourself, okay, and maybe you're pitching yourself, but you're not getting the opportunities you'd hope for. Oftentimes what's happening is you're not standing out as the authority. It doesn't mean you're not valuable. It doesn't mean you won't have something great that's important, and you may be getting some of these gigs, but chances are you're probably working really, really hard to get on those stages. And there's a moment when your authority is positioned properly and you're really amplifying it, that those opportunities start coming to you without all the hard work. Secondly, when you do get these stages and these opportunities, you aren't getting the sales and leads you imagined. Okay, so if this is happening, chances are that the way you're constructing those conversations or those talks, your authority isn't shining through in a way that's compelling to the listeners. And so you might have some great content, but it's not clicking for them. And this is really super common, especially in all the noise that happens all day long for your potential clients. And then 3, you are meeting with prospects. So they're getting through, you're finding some great connections, but, and this is that heartbreaking moment, you find out later they're choosing your competition over you. Doesn't that just like get you? You're thinking to yourself, well, I know I could have solved their problem, and you probably solve it better than the person they chose. But something about that other vendor, that other coach, that other consultant, that service provider, they were able to demonstrate the ability to get them where they wanted to go better than you. It doesn't mean that what you do isn't amazing, because we all know you are. This has to do with really like mastering the art of showcasing your ability. Okay, so having a great talk is good, but it's not enough right now to win the confidence of potential buyers. Being everywhere is great. Like, you know me, I'm all about like consistent visibility, but if that visibility doesn't have the right ingredients, chances are people are just passing you by. And when someone starts to evaluate multiple service providers or multiple vendors or multiple whatever you do, typically the one with the most perceived authority wins the business, wins the opportunity. And how do I know this? because I've lived it firsthand. Okay, so I've been in business since 2000, and I had a great upswing in my first 10 years. But my first 9 years were really just growth, 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 growth. It was really amazing. But I realized about 9 years in that the topics and the things I was covering wasn't really my most aligned superpower. I was good at it, but it wasn't lighting my fire. And so I started to pivot my brand a bit. And I also went through some really personal challenges at that time. Some personal challenges, not personal challenges, personal challenges. And all of a sudden, I saw a like shift in the market. We also went through a huge financial, we went through the financial credit debacle. And so a lot of people's buying patterns changed. And at the same time, I recognized that some of my peers who hadn't necessarily been as in the limelight as I was, because I took a little bit of a step back, all of a sudden soared forward. And what I started to realize, and I watched this happen several times, is that when I was meeting with prospects, I was relying on their perceived evaluation of my authority and not doing my job to amplify it myself. And they were not recognizing it. They were not experiencing it the way that I always had relied on. And now they were choosing my competitors instead of me. And it was heartbreaking. It was really painful. It was very humbling. My ego definitely took a little crunch, but it was a great lesson. And it really helped me see, as I was starting to work with my clients in these new ways, that we cannot assume that our potential clients get what it is we do. I was working with this amazing woman a couple years ago. She was in my Amplify Inner Circle program, and she was at the VIP level. So we were doing a lot of like integrative work with her brand and her offerings and her market. And she knew how amazing she was. The clients who had worked with her knew how amazing she was. But the potential clients that were running across her materials were not engaging. And so she was doing all the right things to get her work out in front of potential clients, but they weren't responding the way she had imagined, because she didn't know how to showcase her authority and amplify it in their eyes in a way that resonated for them. And this is where there's a little bit of a secret sauce to make sure we really understand who our ideal client is and how they're making buy decisions, or who that ideal opportunity is with: the podcast host, the stage, the event producer, the potential partner, whatever that is, right? There has to be a match between the way they perceive authority and the way you're demonstrating. And not all of these people are going to be your people. So we don't have to worry about coming across as an authority to everyone. We just have to really tune it to the people that you want to attract. And this is where the right steps put together can really help you get more bookings, get more prospects on the phone with you, and get those prospects and those great potential clients to say yes and enroll in your programs and use your services and offerings, right? And to choose you faster, because sometimes people go away and they need to think about it for so long, they forget you were the person they were considering. And then they're like, well, I made another decision to hire someone else. Again, gut-wrenching moment, right? So there's a lot of ways to amplify your authority. One of the things that I love doing when I'm working with people in Amplify Your Authority Inner Circle is really customizing these solutions. But I want to give you 3 tried and true, anybody can do them at any time, ways to really get that edge and to stand out and to have your authority amplified, so that the people who are looking for someone that does what you do choose you. They come seeking you. And the first one is to pick an authority platform and be consistent with it. An authority platform, if you haven't heard me talk about this before, there's a podcast episode on Amplify Your Success, where I talk all about it. Happy to link it up in the comments here. But the authority platform is a way in which you can stand at the top of a mountain and be seen by the people who are looking for someone that does what you do. And the key to doing an authority platform is like, you've got to really make it authentic to your brand, to your messaging, and make it really compelling and irresistible to the people that are looking for someone like you. My favorite authority platform, there's tons of them. I'm only going to showcase one right now because it's my favorite one, and anybody can do it, is host your own podcast. And if you're not ready for a podcast, you can do like an online show. One of my Amplify Inner Circle members, she's recording a bunch of video right now, doing video shows, and then later we're going to convert it to a podcast. And hosting your own podcast is just a very powerful way, and it's consumable by anyone on the planet because there are so many ways to consume podcasts now. And so that's why it's my favorite. It does really create a relationship with the listener, and it allows you to bond with the people who are going to vibe with you. And it's a great way to build collateral with other people who you might want to strategic partner with. So there's so many benefits to it. I'm going to be talking a lot about this. Hopefully you're in my email community as well. I'm going to be sharing some tips on email. It's awesome. I'm actually working with some really passion-driven leaders right now to launch their podcast. And it's so exciting to see it get shaped and come to life. Now, there's a second one that I think is really helpful. I actually showcased this recently on Amplify Your Success podcast, and it's an authority framework. Okay, so an authority framework is something that you use when you're giving talks, in your blog posts, in your speaking, in everything you do. And it creates this know, like, and trust factor. It makes you super memorable, and it basically demonstrates your authority without like feeling salesy or weird. Like, I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to be hypey or over the top. This makes it so easy, and it's so effective. So you can listen to that episode. I'll link it up in the comments and share it with you as well. Now, the third one is learning how to weave your results into key marketing components. So this might be your bio, if somebody's reading this on your website, or when you're being introduced. It can be done in all your messaging. It can be done inside your podcast interviews. There's a lot of ways to use this. And this is the number one thing I correct with my clients when I'm coaching them on how to create a magnetic talk that gets you booked, it gets you paid, and makes you, super magnetic to ideal clients. Is you've got to learn to integrate your results in a way that is like, you want your clients to be, who are listening to that talk, go, I want some of that. 80% of the clients I work with come to me because they've heard me talk somewhere, and they're like, oh my gosh, everything she just said is me, and I need that. And so this can be a very powerful way. It's why I make it part of my 7-step framework. So really look at how you're weaving your results together and how you're talking about them so that they're compelling to ideal clients. All right, so we'll stop there for today. Otherwise, this could end up being like a 6-week training here. But I think these are some good steps for you to evaluate. And if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I actually really need to amplify my authority. I am not good at this. This is not my jam, but you're not quite sure where to start. Maybe you've been considering joining Amplify Your Authority Inner Circle, and you've been on the fence, or you're just looking at like, hey, can Melanie work with me one-on-one? Or you just want to know what you could be doing better to amplify your authority in your world. Let's do an Amplify audit, okay? An Amplify audit is where I review your authority factors, and we can really look at how you're demonstrating and showcasing your authority in the world. And I can give you some feedback on what that would look like. And, if it's a good fit for us to work together, great. But what I would really love is to have more passion-driven, transformational leaders and change makers just like you be able to have better results, get paid better, and serve more people because they're getting good at being seen in the world. I know how valuable that is. I know it's one of my superpowers, and it's something that I love doing for the people who are really committed to amplifying their impact, their income, and their influence. And so if that's you, book an Amplify audit. If you go to amplifyaudit.com, then you'll see how to request one and how to book it. Okay, so let's make this happen. Let's not delay anymore. Let's get you on track for the best results of your life. All right, we'll see you soon. And I'd love to hear any takeaways from today. Bye now.